Thanks for tuning in for another episode of Blade Clan Health and Fitness. I'm Brian, this is Dave.
Well, no, but we don't do the fitness videos anymore because y'all didn't watch them anyway. Whoop, whoop!
Oh yeah, that's right. Actually, you know what? We finally settled on the title. Thanks for tuning in for Unreal Talk. I'm Brian. That's Dave.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
Anyway, you might wonder why we're dressed in, some of our classic gear.
That's right.
That's
I'm rocking my episode 1 gear.
That's right. He's all yippee and shit. Anakin Skywalker.
Fucking holes in it, stains all over it, beat to shit. You know what? Fuck this. Wait, hold on. Get about this. I only wore this so y'all could be impressed for a minute. Now, y'all could go back to what I was wearing just before we quit doing that dumb fitness shit. You know what? Fuck. Anyway, alright.
Season 2 stuff.
Now, this was 3. Remember, I had the white one with the...
Oh, that's right. The 2 tiger...
Yeah, with the protein shake all over it because of the bacon...
The bacon shake. Watch that.
Fuck yes.
If you haven't watched it, watch that episode, by the way. That's one of the most hilarious episodes, I think, that we ever did.
Yeah. That should have been our entire show from the beginning to the end. Just me screaming at the camera and putting weird shit in a blender and drinking it.
Which we might still do, because, this show leaves us open to do whatever the fuck we want to do. It doesn't have to be...
It's a free forum. We ain't got nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Anyway, the reason why we're dressed in our fancy duds here... I'm actually rocking the Wayne Enterprises shirt, by the way.
Holy shit, are you Batman? No, you're not Ben Affleck. You got too much chin hair.
Unless, that one Batman from that alternate scruffy ass. Yeah. Anyway, this is our 100th episode.
Well, kinda.
Sorta.
It's 100 videos, we think.
Yeah, I've been keeping better track than he has.
Well, no, because, it's not, it was like, okay, we do health and fitness, and then we did a couple of movie reviews, and then we did, little things here and there, and then we started doing this, which, does this even count as an episode? Yeah, kind of, sort of, it's more like 100 videos, if we've even made it that far, I don't know. But who cares?
Well, I've counted, I haven't counted the 2 movie reviews that we did, which was the Batman review and... What was the other one we did?
Total Recall.
Total Recall, yeah. I didn't count those, although, as part of the 100. Anyway, what we're going to talk about today, in celebration of our 100th-ish episode, is, getting older.
Yeah. Because you know what? I was looking at some shit. Some shit started happening, and, I'm looking at my movies. It's right here. Gremlins. This movie's been out for 30 years. I love this movie when I was a kid. 30 years. Ghostbusters, another one. 30 years. What the fuck?
And they're on fancy laser discs.
Alright. Slightly less old. Batman. Michael Keaton. None of this Chris Nolan, Christian Bale bullshit that these little 10-year-olds are pissing their fucking pants over.
Yeah, 1989.
That's right.
I was at the very first showing at the New Orleans Theater in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was so excited. I was 9 years old.
Yeah.
When that came out. That's one of my fondest memories in my entire life.
But now, kids are like, yeah, but that's not Christian Bale. It's like, you know what? It's better off that it's not, okay? He was not that great of a Batman.
Yeah, I know. These stupid-ass arguments these days, it really... Now that's kind of the basis of why, why I've decided on this particular episode myself, is because recently, this is the most recent one here, they're talking about replacing Andrew Garfield, or whatever that guy's, is that his name? Yeah. For The Amazing Spider-Man. And because there's this big merger that might possibly be happening.
Yeah, but there's a reason behind that. That at least would make sense.
Yeah.
Because Marvel wants to get Spider-Man back. And Sony, realizing they're not making the money they thought they would anymore, might be willing to deal. But if Marvel's going to make a Spider-Man in their universe, they need a new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, they'd have to explain where the fuck the Avengers were during the whole, lizard attack on New York, or, when the Green Goblin was terrorizing people and blowing shit up. Where were the Avengers? See, they'd have to explain all that shit, and they don't want to explain. They want to just make a whole new thing that they can work into their universe. So that at least, I understand that.
Yeah.
I like Andrew Garfield, but it would not upset me too terribly if he disappeared.
Yeah.
Sorry. Not that he's watching, but,
If you are watching, though, you can be a guest on our show,
Just email us or comment something.
If you comment down below, or, you can, email us. If you can go back and find our email address, which is bladeclanfitness@gmail.com with a K instead of a C.
The Mortal Kombat syndrome. It was bad.
Yeah. So, Anyway. In the forums, people were like, well, I didn't like Andrew Garfield anyway, yada, yada, yada. They should bring back Tobey Maguire.
Ew.
Yeah, exactly. And
fuck that guy.
The only argument that any of the Tobey Maguire people had was, he's the Spider-Man I grew up on. And
I don't remember Tobey Maguire being in the 1990s Spider-Man cartoon show.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that was some Spider-Man.
Yeah, see, that was the Spider-Man that we grew up on.
That's right. And if you really have to go live action, there was that guy in the 70s that we saw on TV.
Yeah, I think his name was like Mark Hamilton or something like that,
something
if
like
I remember.
That.
I don't know. But anyway, yeah. Which, actually, you know what? I really liked the live-action Spider-Man movie. I just wish they'd had, supervillains in it, besides that Night of the Clones episode. Which was the first Clone Saga, by the way. Anyway, yeah, all these kids, Tobey Maguire. The only argument they had is it's a Spider-Man that they grew up on.
Not realizing that it's been a few years and Tobey Maguire's looking a little haggard.
Yeah, exactly. And he really wasn't that great anyway.
I mean, it's the same argument you get with Doctor Who fans. They're like, oh, David Tennant's going to come back for the 50th anniversary. In the couple of years that he was not on Doctor Who, aging must have hit him pretty hard, because he was looking a bit not so smoothed out.
Well, TV magic and all, I'm pretty sure they could maybe, flatten him out a little bit there.
No, they didn't bother, apparently. But, it's not like that Patrick Stewart shit that they did in the X-Men movies.
Well, they don't really have the budget for Doctor Who if you ever look at some of the special effects. But
they could at least spackled.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you're looking forward to Doctor Who, there's going to be a special guest talk coming up in the next couple weeks.
Yeah, wants to regenerate into a proper nerd.
Yes, exactly.
We're going to have to kill you for that to work, though.
I get better.
Just saying. But yeah, I mean, this whole thing about Spider-Man, not Spider-Man, whatever. People get hung up on who's playing what. Because movies aren't comic books. In a comic book, I could have the same artist draw a character for 30 years, and that character never has to look older, never has to look different, never a line out of place, because that artist's style is always exactly the same. But you can't do that with a movie,
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Harry Potter series. They lucked out. I mean, they planned ahead, but they still lucked out, because shit could have went wrong.
Well, the good thing about the Harry Potter series is they actually get older, throughout the course of the books.
Yeah. But, I mean, there's nothing to say that one of them couldn't have overdosed on heroin at some point and had to be recast. Or, poor Dumbledore, the guy who played Dumbledore in the first movie or two dies, and then to get a new Dumbledore. But, for the most part, the cast maintained the same, and it looks pretty much the same anyway.
Yeah. They should have totally gotten Ian McKellen to play Dumbledore, in the last movie. That would have fucked so many people up.
Know what would have happened? He would have looked Ron Weasley right in the face and said, You're not doing well. You shall not pass! Quidditch.
Yeah. It's like, how am I doing in class? Like, you shall not pass!
It's true. But, that's just one of those little things. And there's always, the dream casting where people are like, oh, if I made a Spider-Man movie, I'd have this guy play Spider-Man. And that was their idea from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, 10 years ago, fuck, how long ago did Judge Dredd come out?
is the 90s.
Yeah.
Probably longer than I want to admit that,
You see, back then, if you told me I had to cast Venom in a Spider-Man movie, I would have picked Armand Assante to play Venom.
Yeah.
Because if you watch his whole scene in the prison in Judge Dredd, or where he's talking about the new beginning and guilt and innocence being a matter of timing, I was like, that's just Venom right there. Blonde up his hair. Put him in the gym for a week or two. That's Venom.
Plus he knows the secret of life.
True. But I'm not going to tell none of y'all the secret of life.
No, all you guys need to know is law.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And we're not talking about the new movie Dredd, by the way. For all of you youngsters who have never heard of,
I said Judge Dredd, not Dredd.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone movie.
Rob Schneider. Because comedy?
Yeah, it's a very 90s movie, let's just say. A very 90s movie.
Very, very 90s. This makes Demolition Man look like Schindler's List.
Yeah. But man, another thing about getting older, the generational gap with the Batman, because that was another argument that came up last year, was when Ben Affleck was cast as Batman, and everybody was like, "Oh, I grew up on Christian Bale. I'm not going to watch it because it's not Christian Bale."
Yeah, real fucking professional. Oh yeah. Oh, you're so professional. Wait, no. Okay.
But you know what? We grew up on Michael Keaton.
Fuck yeah. And you know what I like most about Michael Keaton as Batman? There was a distinction between Batman and Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne cracked jokes. He was funny. He was outgoing. He had friends. He had things going on outside of being Batman. And then when he got into the suit, he was, I'm Batman. I'm Batman. Yeah. He didn't even have a voice. It was just more him whispering.
Yeah. But the thing about Michael Keaton as an actor, like just kind of the history of the whole Michael Keaton Batman thing?
He's short?
Well, yeah, but, which, actually, if you ever watch Batman and Batman Returns, you may not have noticed this in the past, but watch this perspective when they're shooting Batman. Because a funny thing about that is that they actually shot it to make Michael Keaton appear a lot taller than he actually was.
Yeah.
And you may not notice it because of how well it was done unless you know the story. And if you look back, you'll definitely start spotting it as far as how that goes. But he also wore platforms, by the way. But on top of that, the interesting story behind it is that Michael Keaton, up until that movie came out, was a comedian. That's all he was known for. And it was actually really ridiculed that he was going to be playing Batman. Like, a lot of people were like, oh, he can't play Batman, or they thought it was going to be like the campy...
So, it's kind of like when Heath Ledger got cast as the Joker, everyone, including me, was like, the guy from Knight's Tale? Oh, no, that's not the Joker, that's bullshit. And then he got on the screen and I cried, because he's scary.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, everybody was like, because this was the age before the internet, if you remember.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, it's going to be like an Adam West Batman movie.
Like Mr. Mom in a Batman suit? What's up with that?
Yeah.
Or what was that other movie where he was working in the car factory and the Japanese people bought it and he had wound up driving off in a car with no seat?
Was that like One Flew Over the Cuckoo? Oh, no,
no,
he was
that
in the mental...
was Jack Nicholson. what the fuck?
Hey, that was you, the Joker in that movie. There you go. I can justify it. God damn it.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
But no, yeah, Michael Keaton was in the insane asylum, and like and they started the advertising company.
No, that was Dudley Moore.
No, that was a Michael Keaton.
I'm gonna get my phone and I'm gonna IMDb this in a minute. Let's just let this go.
Yeah. Anyway, white people are just too damn short or too damn tall. What was that? You remember?
The commercial for Sony.
Yeah.
I think they're still running that advertisement, actually.
Oh.
I saw it on TV the other night.
Huh.
I started watching things on Hulu Plus, and there's commercials and all the fucking TV shows that I'm paying money to stream, and they're still putting commercials on to let me know about the other shows I'm not watching. Which, you know what, speaking of getting old, Fraggle Rock.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Remember the Fraggle Rock, the Doozers, the little green guys?
Yeah.
They've got their own CGI show on Hulu Plus.
Really?
Because fuck Jim Henson Studios right now, okay? Fuck them in their stupid ass. Goddamn sellouts, the whole lot of them.
Yeah, after Jim Henson's son took over, that was pretty much it for the company.
Kermit would be so disappointed.
He wasn't sitting there drinking his damn tea.
Well, that's none of my business, though.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Michael Keaton had a lot to prove when he went into this Batman role.
No kidding. Yeah, Mr. Mom, go fuck yourself. No, I'm Batman. And it turned out really awesome.
It did, because, watch, I challenge you, okay, even if you grew up on the Christian Bale Batman, or, I feel sorry for you if you grew up on the Val Kilmer or, George Clooney Batman.
I don't talk about that.
Yeah, we'll ignore those ones. That'll be a different rant.
Yeah, until the We Hate Joel Schumacher episode, then we're going to tear that sad bastard a new asshole that's already been ripped open and scabbed over at least a dozen times.
We need, balloons and confetti for that one. We're not having it for the 100th episode, goddammit, but we're having it for the I Hate Joel Schumacher episode.
That's right. Be fucking confetti cannons going off.
Exactly. But anyway, yeah, Michael Keaton had a lot to prove, and I challenge you to watch whichever of the Batman movies. Well, you can actually also watch the original Batman movie if you want.
You can. I find it hilarious, but really, it's just kind of ridiculous now.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
That's like Adam West's biography right there.
Yeah. That's like his career, basically.
Him and Leonard Nimoy. It's like Leonard Nimoy for all that time was like, I'm not Spock! And Adam West's like, I'm not Batman! But now they're both like, you know what, fuck it. Nimoy's like, I'm Spock. Whatever, yeah. Let's Spock it up.
And Adam West is like, half dementia anyway now, so he's like, yeah, sure.
And he is all over that Lego Batman 3 game. Instead of rescuing citizens in peril, you rescue Adam West.
Yeah, but watch all of them, and watch Michael Keaton's acting. As far as, the depth goes with Michael Keaton.
Yeah, especially in Batman Returns, because there was actually some levels to that performance. At the one point, he pushes some buttons and some shit flies off the Batmobile, gets really skinny, it goes through a really thin alleyway, and he goes to the Batcave, and Alfred's like, well, we have to consider repairs on the Batmobile. We can't just take it to any old Joe's body shop. We have to maintain security. And he looks at him and goes, oh, security, right. Who was it that let Vicky Vale into the Batcave? I turn around and I'm like, oh, hi, Vicky, come on in. And I was like, that is a Bruce Wayne I have never seen before.
Yeah, exactly.
Christian Bale would never do that because his Batman is all like, Bruce Wayne is stuffy and, boring. And just doesn't show up for half the movies anyway because he's too busy Batmaning.
Yeah.
And Batman is just all grabble, 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 punch.
Yeah. Batman is angry. Christian Bale really kind of portrays Bruce Wayne as Batman trying to act normal. That's the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, he's trying to pull a Superman and it's just not working.
Yeah. Michael Keaton portrayed it as Bruce Wayne is an actual human being who has a split personality almost. Batman is a separate entity.
He's got a selective split personality. A lot of people have split personalities. They switch between like crazy. He's just like, oh, time to put on that other personality and go take a walk.
Yeah, he puts on the cowl, Batman takes over. But yeah, you don't get that quality of Batman, really. I seriously doubt Ben Affleck's going to have it, only because, we haven't seen him as Batman, but we have seen him as...
everything else.
Yeah, as Daredevil. That's the closest you're going to get, as an example.
That's a really shit example.
I know.
Not because the movie was bad, because you know what? A lot of people give that movie shit. It was not a bad movie. It was just poorly handled. That scene they cut out with him and Coolio in the car where he's driving and scaring the shit out of Coolio. That should have been in the movie because that would have made it so much better. That's in the director's cut DVD.
If you ever catch that.
Yeah. Which you should.
And then he also appears in a cut scene in Elektra, by the way.
Yeah. But let's
in a dream sequence.
Let's forget Elektra.
Yeah.
That one I will say, just take that rug and...
Spin-offs don't really... the Catwoman...
No, you know what? Elektra could have been a good movie. That's the problem. But they just... Fucking... Apparently only people that have OCD can become ninjas. Or something.
I don't know, Catwoman...
This is just one massive sidetrack right now. Just sidetracked for the past 10 minutes. It should have been blinking on the screen while we're talking about Daredevil and shit.
Hey, I'll try to get back to Michael Keaton, but I mean, that kind of fits in there a little bit, you know?
Michael Keaton kind of fits into Scarlett Johansson?
Maybe.
I don't know. He's short enough. He could probably just crawl right up. Which reminds me of this mod on Skyrim. It gave me a follower who's a giant woman. And it's just like, I'm looking at her kneecaps when I'm at eye level, and I'm just like, hi! And she follows me around and fights with me. It's awesome.
You know, it would be great if you were, like, sneaking around, if you were, like, a thief, and, like, you had, like, this...
Like, I'm moving very quietly. Like, Bigfoot comes down next to me, like, really?
You have, like, a 15-foot-tall, like, sidekick following you around as you're sneaking behind someone.
Like, she's invisible.
It's like...
This is my invisible friend. Anyway, yeah, fucking sidetracked by Skyrim again. That's going to be my go-to sidetrack from now on. I'm just going to, like, hey, this mod I got! And then it's going to go off on a tangent.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
He has Macho Man.
Macho Man dagger. Every time I swing it, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah. But Batman. Poor Batman.
Yeah. What other things about getting older besides movies, too? Because, I mean, you know...
I mean, we've seen a lot of shit in this time. It's like we were talking about online earlier, man. We've been friends for almost 2 decades.
Yeah.
Our friendship is old enough to drive a car.
Yeah. You're saying it's old enough to vote?
It's true. Our friendship is old enough to vote, but it's wise enough to know that the whole system is too corrupt anyway, so it doesn't bother voting.
Exactly. You see how enlightened our friendship has gotten over the years?
Yeah. Enlightened and cynical. But, you know, it's a product of the world.
Yeah. Our friendship could be in college right now, but can't quite afford it.
Yeah. Not that it really wants to anyway, because it'll only be going for the partying and the girls.
Yeah.
You can get those without going to college.
You know how friendships go. But yeah, I mean, you know, I don't remember it exactly, but hey, we were alive when the Berlin Wall fell.
Yeah.
Something somebody in the 90s couldn't say.
I mean, let's get back to basics, though. Like, fucking dead-end, flat basics. What is the one most incredible thing that's happened since we've been alive?
The one most incredible thing?
Smartphones. I mean, really, if I could mention one thing that I've come across in all this time that if I showed to my 10-year-old self would make him die with shock and amazement, it would be a smartphone.
Yeah?
I'd be like, hey, here, take that thing. Okay, what's it do? Oh,
like everything.
What, did you want to know about that new movie that's coming out? Like, oh yeah, like, type in new movie, hit search. Oh wow, there's everything. Like, hey, you like boobs? Just type in boobs. See what happens. It's funny.
Yeah. But, you know what it all comes down to, though? The internet. I mean, the internet technically was around since, like, the 60s or something like that. Yeah. Maybe, like, earlier, but,
it doesn't matter until we got a hold of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that wasn't until, like...
Like, the 90s, like, 95, 94, I think, really is when...
The first time I remember really using the internet was back when me and Amy were still dating. We used to use our brother's computer in the basement and, like, go on AOL and stuff.
AOL.
Yeah. The internet with training wheels.
Yeah. Where, you know, it took, like, 17 minutes to load a page with flash art on it.
Yeah. It's like, if you wanted to look at a picture, you were looking at a 5-minute commitment while it went line by line and loaded every single thing.
Yeah, children these days don't know the joy of connecting to the internet and hearing that sound that it made while the modem was connecting.
The delightful song of the internet.
And you couldn't use your phone line. I had a dedicated phone line to the internet in my room because otherwise nobody could use the house phone. It would just have a busy signal.
Yeah.
If my mom tried to pick up the phone and use it, well, actually for me it would cut it off. But as I understand, for a lot of people, you just heard that noise.
You heard the modem noise.
Yeah, it just cut me off the internet if she tried to use it for some reason.
Oh, those days.
Yeah.
But like, man, I remember it used to be so hard. Like, when we went to the movies, the only thing we had was the trailers.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, like, if you did not see a trailer for it, it did not fucking exist until a movie poster showed up.
Yeah, exactly. Media was, like, so different back in the day than it is now. I mean, you had magazines. I had, like going back to Batman, I had a Batman magazine that had, like, pictures from, like, the
Mm-hmm.
like various scenes or whatever before it came out that got me, like, super hyped. And man, I looked at that thing like every day, like 15 times.
Hell yeah!
Same picture I had to pull out of, like, the Batmobile. Like, oh, this is the most awesome looking thing ever.
There was, like, magazines like Fangoria. If you wanted to know what horror movies were coming out, you read Fangoria. You couldn't go online and look at shit. You had to actually look at the magazine and be like, damn, there's a new Alien movie coming out.
Yeah, there's your new info. If you find out something, you find it out because, that company that's making it put something out on it.
Yeah, there wasn't any of this like, oh, tonight we're going to put the preview trailer on for our web fans. It's like, what? No, there was no things on cable. There weren't cable TV shows like we have now.
Yeah, and you know what? MTV, the M actually stood for music, in case you wondered.
And there was a point in time, which was almost before our time, but not quite. I mean, we were still able to watch TV back then. But there was time when MTV was literally music videos all day long.
Yeah, that's all it played.
I remember the thing I was talking about when we were watching Elvira, with the TV going off at a certain point.
Yeah.
There was times,
yeah,
up until cable really got popular and networks kind of were like, oh, wait, we're wasting 6 hours, let's fill it with infomercials. Where a TV station would play the national anthem and a clip of eagles flying and flags waving, and then the TV signal would just stop and you'd go to static. Until the morning when they started showing shows again.
Exactly.
There was actually a point where television stopped.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Start back up at 6 a.m. with the morning news.
Mm-hmm. Or cartoons if it were Saturday.
Yeah.
Which, that's not happening anymore either.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I mean, it doesn't really make that big of a difference. I mean, I know it's probably like, 80s kid blasphemy to say that. But when I woke up in the morning, I would watch, like, CBS, NBC, Fox, whatever had that particular cartoon. I would actually, like, block out my Saturday morning. Like, okay, 7:30 to 8 o'clock, I'm going to be watching this show. Then I'm going to switch over to this other channel for an hour because they have this other show I really like. So, I mean, we had scheduling going, serial, the whole 9 yards. But nowadays, I mean, you got Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
You got Cartoon Network on demand. It's like if I want to watch cartoons, even the same cartoons I would have watched during the day back then at 5 in the morning now or 2 in the afternoon, I just push a button.
Then again, with internet, fuck, why wait?
Yeah. Like, fuck cable, I have the internet.
Exactly. There is no schedule on the internet. If I want to watch, the entire run of the, of these Batman the Animated Series from the 90s, I could watch the entire thing starting at 2 o'clock in the morning if I wanted to. And not stop till the authorities broke down my door because I hadn't paid rent in a while.
It's true. Long cartoon. But that was also another really good show. That's another excellent example of Batman. I mean, Kevin Conroy and Michael Keaton are on the same level as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
It's just Kevin Conroy's never been a Batman on screen in person.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy, by the way, is the voice of the animated Batman in very many things. If you are a youngin', you probably recognize him as the voice of Batman from the Arkham games, as well as a lot of the animated movies, that are out. But yeah, that's basically where he got his start as Batman, was the animated series, which really established him as the voice of Batman. And he's actually played Batman more than anyone else in history and probably ever will.
It's true. He is the single longest-running Batman.
When he dies, I have a feeling that they're not going to be like a singular...
Yeah.
I'm going to get Val Kilmer to do Batman's voice a couple times. He was the worst. I would say he was worse than George Clooney.
Yeah, neither one of them was that great, but Val Kilmer really was just... God, it was like episode 1 all over again.
Yeah. I mean, I never really thought he was such a great actor anyway. If you ever watched, like, The Island of Dr. Monroe.
No, because then you'd actually be entertained. If you try to watch him in a Batman movie, you're just going to be like, why hasn't this guy changed his facial expression through the whole movie?
And why is his, like, you know, why is his trying to act serious, like, some sort of weird, like, chipmunk impression?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Looks really weird in the suit. Plus bat nipples, but that really wasn't his fault. It just, he happened to be the one that they landed on.
Yeah. Was it him? I thought it was George Clooney, the bat nipples.
No, they were on there.
Maybe they just didn't quite focus on them as much.
Well, yeah, plus they didn't give him the Batgirl.
Yeah. Double standard.
Yeah.
Her costume actually had a corset, if you look at it, built into the...
Yeah. You could actually see the bat cups.
Yeah.
Which were covering the bat nips.
It might have just been a bat bra. It might not even have been a corset. Strangely enough. Like, they really needed to be done.
It was a stupid fucking movie.
Yeah, it was. You can actually watch them on Netflix, currently streaming. Don't. If you haven't seen them and you are a Batman fan, that's even more of a reason not to see them.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get confused and annoyed, and you're going to want to punch Arnold Schwarzenegger.
If you want to watch anything related to those movies, watch the Nostalgia Critic review of Batman and Robin.
That was true. And if you really want to watch Uma Thurman punish herself, watch the Kill Bill movies. Because it's actually a lot less painful to see her get her brains kicked in and get shot and stabbed than watch her play Poison Ivy.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry. She's a great actress, but that was pure bat shit.
Yeah, although I do blame, Joel Schumacher for a lot of it, because I'm pretty sure he told them all to, like, ham it up as much as they possibly could.
Yeah. I was like, people blame Tommy Lee Jones for Two-Face being over the top. I'm like, look at the outfit that they put him in. If they told him to play this role serious, it would have looked bad.
Yeah. Not only that, but you know what I also based this off of?
The fact that Joel Schumacher's never read a fucking comic book.
Well, yeah, that, and also on top of that, the acting I'm also basing off of Commissioner Gordon. Because Commissioner Gordon...
Poor bastard.
Well, no, Commissioner Gordon was Commissioner Gordon through that entire unfortunate run. The actor never changed. His acting did. He got a lot more ham-fisted in the Schumacher movie.
Yeah,
so
he did turn into, like, that dumb-witted cop from the Adam West Batman show.
Yeah, so this...
All that was missing was a stereotypical Irish accent.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my theory on why, he was told, the actors were told to, like, ham it up for the camera.
Yeah.
Because you can compare his acting, and you know what? There's definitely a difference in the movies.
The only thing that remained consistent through all those Batman movies was Alfred.
Yeah?
I mean, except for the fact that they almost killed him in the last one with that whole McGregor syndrome, which, by the way, they mentioned that in Arrow. And I was like, McGregor syndrome. Alfred's gonna die.
Maybe Arrow will fight Mr. Freeze. After Arnold's finished filming Triplets.
Maybe Captain Cold will find his way from Flash to Arrow, and he'll have a real superhero fight.
Yeah. Arrow's finally growing up.
I don't understand how the Flash, any episode, can last more than 5 minutes. Because he's fast all the time. There's no reason that anyone should ever be able to get away from him. Except
for Reverse Flash, who, as established, was faster and stronger. And like kicking his own ass, but that's like a different...
Maybe. Who knows? Because, fuck it. When the show's over, I'll watch the whole thing on Netflix or Hulu or... Fucking Hulu doesn't even have all the episodes. They just have, like, one or two with fucking stupid...
The more I hear about Hulu Plus, the less I actually, am inclined to, ever watch it.
I don't know. I mean, it's worth it for the stuff you get, I suppose... But
But if the stuff you get is
this is another product of us getting old. Because we're like fucking spoiled. You remember when we had to watch TV at set times? Like, oh shit, South Park's on every week at this date and time.
Yeah,
if we don't watch it or record it on a VCR, no TiVo, because we didn't have that shit back then. It was like, okay, we have to record on VHS tapes what we want to watch later.
VHS.
Yeah, there was no Netflix. There was no Hulu, no Amazon Video. It was all just, you watched what was on when it was on. Like those Christmas specials. Frosty and Rudolph and Charlie Brown and Garfield. You watched them when they were on, and if another network was showing another Christmas special, you had a hard fucking decision to make.
Yeah, exactly. And if your family was lucky enough to have more than one TV, because these days that's another thing that tends to be,
Oh my God, we had one TV. One big-ass boxy TV. It was as big as this fucking table.
Yeah, but
it had knobs.
Yeah, but these days everybody has, fuck, you know what? This thing is a television, more or less. If I want to watch whatever...
studio.
Yeah.
You could make TV shows on that.
Yeah. There's a television in there.
I got a television in the living room. Got one in the bedroom. Never touched the one in the bedroom. Don't even know why I still have it. But it's there.
One of our producers is sitting there on a laptop right now.
Laughing at us.
And probably watching something.
And she flipped me off.
Long story.
That's cold, Obi-Wan.
But, yeah, anyway, that's another thing that kids are spoiled about.
You remember my parents' house?
Yeah.
There was a TV in the living room. One in my room, one in my sister's room. My parents had one in their bedroom. There was... The only one that didn't have a TV in it was the fucking bathroom. And that's only probably because we didn't have flat screens at the time.
Yeah, these days I actually bring my tablet in with me if I'm watching something on
iPhone
YouTube or Netflix. Yeah.
Cool out, headphones on.
Exactly.
Watching porn. Oh, that's what I do out here. Where's that blacklight flashlight? I wanted to show you something. I'm taking it to the gym with me, too.
We're not getting into that conversation again.
Sidetracked.
Yeah, so on it, I remember my first VCR. My family was so excited.
Top
it was
loader?
A top loader, yep,
Fuck
top loaded VCR. It had a remote that had one button on it that was attached.
The other thing that's cool about this movie,
yeah,
this was the first VHS tape my parents ever owned, was Ghostbusters. I watched that thing until it fucking broke. I fucking killed that tape. So you know what we did that you can't do with DVDs, but you really don't have to, so it's not that impressive? We took the tape out of the one tape and put it into a different one. We just transplanted the tape onto a tape that wasn't broken. Still works to this day.
Nice.
That's right. Fuck, I got a homemade porno tape of me and my ex-girlfriend that I shot on the old Tyco Handycam. Remember I showed you that shit?
It actually, this Handycam had to attach to a VCR.
Yes.
You could not take this.
There was no internal recording. It was AV cables, which I'm surprised we even had those at that point.
It was black and white.
Yeah. Not even really black and white, but more of a muddy, horrible gray. I think somewhere on our channel, or maybe on your old channel, we have those old videos from when we were doing the backyard wrestling.
Yeah, it's on my old channel. We have some of those, yeah.
Yeah, some of them were shot with an actual VHS camcorder, which
actually had a side-loading VHS tape that popped in on the side.
It was like a fucking miniature VCR all by itself. But yeah, it was muddy grayscale that looked horrible.
Yeah, the sound was absolutely horrible on it.
And then by the time I was using it to, fool around on video, the fucking wires were messed up in the back. So you had to hold it just a certain way to make sure they were still contacting, or the video would cut in and out. Total crap. If I gave myself this camera in the past, I'd have a nervous breakdown. Because, God, the possibilities.
You'd be a wizard. You give that to yourself and it'd be like,
Techno wizard.
What is this? Of course, there's no way for past you to actually, ever remove the...
I'd probably give him my laptop, too. Just tell him to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
But that's a different... But anyway, yeah, VCRs. Top loaders. I remember that shit because those things were awesome.
Yeah, our remote control was a button that had a line that would attach to the...
You actually had to plug it in, and it actually had 3 things. It was play, stop, and rewind.
Yeah. And it's we could watch a movie whenever we want.
Oh, what really killed me? When we finally got a VCR that had an auto rewind. You just watch to the end of the tape, and then it stops and rewinds back, and I was like, fucking luxury, man. I don't even have to rewind my shit anymore. Because when you rented videos from your local video rental before Blockbuster, watch Clerks. RST Video, right there. But yeah, when you rented a video, they actually had stickers on the top that were like, be kind, rewind. Because if you didn't rewind the movie, the next person who rented it would start it up on the credits and be like, son of a bitch, I gotta waste 10 minutes rewinding this shit.
Or if you really wanted to be a dick, you could get to, like, the plot point. Like, if you go to, like, Star Wars and, like, Luke, I am your father, and stop right before he says that line, so when they put it in, it's the first thing they see.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the closest thing we ever had to spoilers.
Yeah, it's true.
If the movie started at an inopportune time.
Although one thing with Blockbuster Video, which I don't think there's such a thing anymore, really. Me and a friend of mine, so there's a movie called Pinocchio the Revenge, right, which is a horror movie with Pinocchio. There's also the classic Disney Pinocchio. Well, in Blockbuster, they used to actually have the VHS tapes in the cases.
Yeah.
See, this was a video store, which was somewhere you could go to rent movies. So, anyway, we took the...
You know what I feel like right now? I feel like a historian trying to explain ancient Egypt. And you see, they built pyramids and worshipped cats. This pyramid here says LOL.
Can you imagine, though, when our kids are our ages... They're going to be explaining, the little rainbow cat thing, the cat toaster thing.
Yeah, they're going to be explaining Nyan Cat.
Yeah. It's like, yeah.
They're going to be trying to explain to their kids, what does the fox say?
It's like, and see, we had phones that had screens you had to touch. You could kind of talk to them, but they didn't understand everything you said.
They weren't built into your retina and broadcasting things through your eyesight the whole time. God damn it.
You see, there weren't cyborgs like there are now. Like,
so yeah, I mean, I remember I got a VCR tape rewinder. It's a separate device that you just put your tape in, push it down, and it rewinds it for you, and then pops it back out when it's done like a toaster.
Yeah, that way you can watch a movie and you can be rewinding another one at the same time.
That was like the pinnacle. Up until Laserdisc.
Yeah, that was your version of Refresh. It was a VCR rewinder.
Push F5 and the tapes will rewind.
Exactly. Yeah, Laserdisc. It was too expensive for anyone to afford. Like, somebody who was rich had Laserdiscs.
Not to mention, CDs, that big. DVDs followed. Laserdisc. It was the size of a vinyl record. Luckily, I don't have to explain vinyl. They still sell vinyl in stores.
Oh, do they?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't.
I was about to, try to bust out some knowledge there. The wiki links will be down below.
So we can explain all this ancient history we're throwing at you.
Oh, God.
You poor fucks.
I feel so old.
It's like, I was wearing the Power Glove on the show for a while.
Yeah.
Do you know how cool the fucking Power Glove was? That was an entire Wii.
Like yeah.
That turned your Nintendo into a Wii. You could play any game by, wiggling your hand around and smacking the buttons on the wrists.
Yeah, how well it worked was really anybody's guess, though, with...
I was watching the Fluffy movie, the Gabriel Iglesias one, and he was going on about how after 3 or 4 months his Nintendo died and he couldn't get it to work again. Shit, my Nintendo still works. That's right, you gotta jiggle the cartridge a little bit, you put it in until it's just clearing the thing, and you push it down and it clicks off the side a little bit, but then maybe you gotta tap it to the side and you hit the button. I mean, I could probably crack a safe, just based on the training I've had with the Nintendo. Of course, I also, thank Nintendo for my other fingering skills. Because, you gotta have that delicate touch.
I keep telling you, man, that's for your private channel on RedTube. Yeah. This reminds you of those damn wiggling asses from last night, like that.
I'm surprised it was actually on YouTube.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they were faux vag. They're sex toys. Big, bulbous ass cheeks with the vagina and the butthole, and it's like a midsection comes straight up to the ass. And this guy is just standing there with a deadpan face talking about the features of this sex toy and smacking the asses and wiggling them a little bit, and he's just total fucking professional delivery. I'm dying watching this video because the butts are jiggling.
But not only that, but the name. I forget what the names were, but it was like S Blaster or something like S.
God, what was it called? I have to go look at it again, but that fucking...
But it was like, it was something like, like the ass pound enjoyment or something. I don't know. They had two different... The white one and the black one had, like, two different names, but they're both, like, totally obscene.
But they're the exact same thing, as he mentioned. The only difference is the color. He also mentioned that the two channels actually meet in the middle in kind of a U shape, which is kind of unique, because usually those kind of things go straight through the other side.
Wikipedia below.
Really? I'm trying heavy. Can't even be professional.
Snap. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
Okay, yeah, can't be professional. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, if I had them, the only thing I'd use them for is instruments, and I'd probably get kicked off of YouTube because
I'd probably use them for a pillow, actually, with the cheeks on the side. It's kind of like one of those neck pillows. Just have a butt cheek on either side of my head.
Could you imagine flying back to Philadelphia with, like, on a plane with, like, ass cheeks over?
Just one cheek on either ear, just like... Maybe put some headphones in them.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Like,
you have the cord coming out of the vagina, and then, like...
push the play button.
Imagine where you could place the play button on this.
Oh, I know, the play button. Thank you, Nintendo.
Man.
Just jiggle it, pull it out a bit, blow on it nice and gentle, put it back in there, slide it in and out a few times.
Sidetracked.
No, I was talking about the Nintendo. Because that's what you had to do. You had to, because the contacts would wear off, and you had to hit them just right on the receiving end.
Which is something you folks who are all disc-based video game players never...
I mean, well, actually, even going so far as the Nintendo 64, you really didn't have any problems with those games.
Yeah.
Not like the Nintendo, anyway. I mean, the Nintendo was... It did kind of start crashing out, like, not long after you bought it. But if you were persistent enough, and you scientifically pieced it together... You could make a Nintendo work for 20-some-odd, 30 years.
Yeah. When did the N64 came out in the mid-90s, early 90s, something like that?
Yeah, I remember, because you got it, like, when it came out. Because at that point, I think your dad was still trying to kiss your ass a little bit.
Yeah.
So he bought you the N64 and a bunch of games.
Yeah.
WCW versus the World.
That's
right. Eric fucking Bischoff.
Yeah.
That's right. You know who I'm talking to. Still stings, don't it? 5 guys in a row.
Everyone.
Top headliners in WCW. Eric Bischoff. Chews them up and spit them back out.
Sitting there bleeding profusely, holding his head through, the
final fight. I walk out to the ring like this, and he's like, oh, there's no way he can win. 5 minutes later. 1, 2, 3.
Becomes the champion of WCW.